ahead and start?
Well, it's your thing. It's like, hi.
Hey. Okay, let me get angled here. Greetings, YouTube land, and welcome back to a very special hangout. This is a gentleman here. You guys may know him by the name of Gix from Gix 217. I've been, I guess you can say buddies with him because, you do remember me from way back, right? From back in 2007, 2008, always asking advice on, if you're playing a thief character or this type of character class, and you would come back at me with some kind of advice. Probably do remember that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Okay, yeah. And then we kind of, on and off. But this
We're
is
pen pals. We're pen pals.
Pen pals. That's the word for it. Pen pal buddies. For a while now, probably the longest pen pal friend here that I've had here in YouTube land. He is someone who kind of inspired me to want to do LPs myself or Let's Play videos. But since I don't know if you're hearing that, but I guess these are people from. Yep, they're waiting. Okay, hold on. Let me.
Was that people from the hangout? All right.
My buddy's here from. Okay, let me see here. Copy, and I'll paste it right here. Okay, guys, I take it you guys are watching. So Raj, Brandon, everyone. Dean, I wish there's people from different time zones like Gary G who can't come. She's from Bulgaria. She's also a gamer. And Vince, he's from New Zealand. Whoops.
I'd be surprised if people weren't gamers at this point who would be interested in hearing us talk. I mean,
right. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they have to know who you are. I mean,
I don't know. Like I'm almost a little bit afraid that you're painting me in a bigger light than I'm really am.
To me, in any case.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you're a famous LP. What, 14K plus subscribers. I remember when you had just a couple thousand or something like that, and it went up to 5,000, and now you're up to 14K. I don't have nearly as many. I remember when I only had 10. I'm up to a little bit over 500 now, but
cool.
No, not even 1,000 yet. So I'm small time.
When I started, I just accidentally hit a wave.
Accidentally, eh?
Well, none of it was planned. I know, and it's funny, we're talking about this right now because recently a coworker of mine mentioned that he was starting his own channel on YouTube, doing Let's Plays, but he's doing in French instead. That was one of his thing, and he was trying to ask me questions about advice and stuff like that. I'm like, it's your own thing at that point. You start it, and I might have suggestion, and he gave me a demo of what he was going to do. But yeah, he's looking at it from almost like a professional aspect to it. He wants to get a not necessarily career, but he wants to start something bigger from the get-go. And for me, it was I have this software. I want to play a game. Why don't I do a test? And I uploaded it, and it was Morrowind, and people got
And let me see. You said something how did it start off now? Hold on here. Hello, Internet. You're watching a Let's Play video. Let's Play video. For my first video, I thought that I would showcase a game that a lot of you have probably already heard of before. Yeah.
Wow, that's almost line by line. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. When I first played it, so many...
Yeah, Hatred. I remember seeing footage of that, and my original instinct... I played Postal when that came out.
What is Postal? I've never heard of that.
Postal is... Basically, it's the same isometric viewport, and it's a shooter. Kind of like imagine Doom or Unreal Tournament, but on a isometric view. And it's the story of a guy who... went postal because he was working for postal. This is an actual story, or he went mad and he decided to just kill everybody.
Wow!
He went on a rampage, and it had a weird, twisted spin on it. And I mean, it's a terrible story, but the way it was presented in the game itself was mature in the way it was presenting itself. And the original reaction that I have with Hatred is that they were trying to do a very similar thing, but without without mature, like the self constraint that someone who was mature would have when telling a story like that, because the main character is just angry because he's angry.
Yeah.
And he just loves to kill people, and it becomes kind of gruesome just for gruesome's sake. And I have some issues with that. But like, it looks interesting, but from what I've seen, it's something like I would not play it. Primarily because it's just violence for the sake of violence. But but I have played Postal, and I had some enjoyable moments in there, so I can still see that as being a good game. I just wouldn't. The subject matter doesn't appeal to me.
How you differentiate the Postal type of thing? If it's basically like the same thing, and then with Hatred, what makes
what makes it, because I think just because it was a retelling of an actual story from from the get-go has some. It was an American story at one point of a guy who actually made some shooting, so it has some very. I thought it was pretty ballsy for the developer to, and it's Running with Scissors that made it.
Running with Scissors.
Running with Scissors, so it already was kind of quirky, but the story itself was there was no dialogue, so there was none of that. Characters like, yeah, take that, I like killing people, or I'll rip your spline out. There's none of that, because you are the character. You're basically Master Chief who doesn't talk as you're murdering people, because you play the role of a psychopath. And it's very easily explained to you that you went crazy. And the first level starts with cops surrounding your house. And of course you have to murder cops. But it has a really twisted vibe to it. So to me, that it presents itself well as a mature medium, as opposed to just juvenile, let's have violence, let's rip people's heads out. So to me, it's kind of gray, the line, but to me, from what I've seen of Hatred, I have not played it, I could see it from a mechanical standpoint, and I'm a mechanical guy. I see it from a mechanical standpoint that it could be a fun game, but as a medium or as an entertainment device, I don't find it appealing because of how it addresses the subject matter.
Yeah. Didn't the original Postal game have like controversy? Weren't the parents or somebody trying to ban it because it was about a guy? Wasn't that like the first crazy guy on the loose game?
I think it was one of the first crazy guy on the loose game. It certainly wasn't the first game to have movement to have it censored.
Okay.
It sure is illegal in some countries. I'm thinking Australia at this point, because they have like really strict laws against some games.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was.
Yeah, I knew that name, and then it came from the game was last, right? I mean, there were people that in post offices kind of went crazy and shot them up, and then that term postal became.
Yeah, the guy who went postal.
Yeah. But the game came after, right? They didn't start using that.
It's based on actual events. How much of it was accurate? I don't know. But it's kind of like a movie interpretation of a mission, say in World War II. Well, this one is like a video game interpretation of a really gruesome and disturbing event in U.S. history.
Right. Wasn't there probably an underground? I thought, wasn't there someone trying to develop a Columbine game? Like going into a school and shooting it up? Or was that like an underground thing I heard that someone was trying to do?
I'm trying
really
to...
bad taste,
I'm trying to remember. it's what you're describing me is very familiar.
Yeah,
But
that's
I
how I can
can't.
feel too. Like I kind of heard something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know
Like,
there was a game
like,
too, wasn't there, where you play Oswald shooting Kennedy?
oh, I
Wasn't
don't know about that one.
Yeah, I heard that one was I don't know if it's banned or it even got shelf life, but there was one of those. You're actually in the depository aiming, and all that.
Huh.
Oh. Things I hear.
Well, so, like, if you hear it, sometimes there's some reality to it. So, but yeah, like the Postal, not to spoil it, but like the way it ends, it's basically there's no boss fight, and it's actually kind of disturbing the way it ends because the final level is at a like a parade,
What?
and
For who?
the city, some
Just a
event
parade.
Oh,
in a parade, and you're there with like cops trying to chase you down, and is that really the last level, or is that the last level when you kill a lot of? I remember it's either that or I remember seeing a little girl at one point, and your character basically goes on his knees and falls down, like he just loses it.
Oh.
I'm trying to think. Maybe it does end at. Maybe that's what I'm remembering. Maybe it does end at a schoolyard. So I'm just Postal 1 ending. Yeah, level 17, the elementary school.
Wow.
And he
I
goes
definitely could see
crazy.
parents and people complaining about that.
Oh yeah, I'm watching it on YouTube, and it's just so vivid. Because it plays like a first-person shooter, but you're in third person.
Okay.
So, just like you said, very much like that Hatred game coming out.
Very much like that Hatred game, and yeah, he just loses it. He starts shooting like in the video. He's like in a park, like next to a schoolyard, and you see little kids, and he's shooting like rocket launchers and stuff like that at the kids, and then he just like falls down, and it ends like
real
that.
quick
There's
here.
no dialogue.
Very quickly here.
Yeah.
Whoops. Jace. Hold on here. Just wants to say something here.
Is he awake?
Logging in. Well, he's awake, but he's okay here. Okay, so Jace, that's Movie Man Jace, so shout out to you, Jace. Hope you're well, Sam. I'm doing work, so wanted to say hi to everyone. So he says hi to us all, even though...
Hey, Jace.
Hey, Jace. So if you're able to come on, I send an invite in the group chat thing, so you can just click that and come on whenever you can. Hopefully we'll still be on, but...
Sammy, did you get your shelves?
I did not. As you can see, that's why I'm rearranging this.
I wouldn't. You went shopping today. I wouldn't expect you to have built them already, but just wondered if you picked them up.
I didn't pick anything up. The thing is, I don't want to. I don't think I'm really good at building things. So I thought that I was gonna buy like a shelf, like a.
Oh, ready made. Yeah.
But you don't make them like that, so I don't really need it. So all I really have to do is, you can't see it, but it's on that side right there, behind those stacks. All my Scream Factories are there. And I have like a shit ton. I just realized, I'm looking at it, I'm like, holy shit, I got a lot of Scream Factories. So all I have to do is just really, line them up, like, have Scream Factories and then the Disney stuff over here, and have different layers of it like that. But at the same time, I can fit my gaming collectibles like that, and I have more stuff even back there, like that. Yeah. And when I get the Pip-Boy edition, I'll put it right next to it. You can't see it, but it's this. This is the Fallout.
Oh yeah.
Brotherhood of Steel from Fallout 3, which you do get that armor, by the way, in the fourth one, which you can customize and everything and add rockets to it, which is fantastic. And the other one I have, should be coming any moment now, is the glow-in-the-dark Ghoul, which is it's a GameStop exclusive, but it actually glows in the dark. So it's going to be fantastic. Yeah.
You're going to need a bigger house, a bigger room.
There we go. You have to do it. Yeah. But I was hoping that, well, that hatred is one where I guess if you want to blow off some steam, that's kind of cool. You had a rough day, I suppose. It's all artificial. I can't play it because it's not coming out on console.
I think any game, whether it's a shoot 'em up or a puzzle game or anything, any of that is to let off steam. I mean, when you get home from work, you just want to go into like another world. Whether it be a movie or playing a video game.
Right. So that's why I have no trouble with the idea of hatred existing as a game.
Mm-hmm.
And
just a game.
I wouldn't necessarily say, oh no, it's a terrible game, don't play it, blah blah blah, because the gameplay itself, as someone who has played the original Postal game and enjoyed it,
crazy?
I don't have any issues believing that this game would be fun to play. I just don't feel the way I don't agree with how they approached the subject. So I might not touch that game at all because of that, and because I have so many games, right? And you can't play it all, so you gotta pick and choose. And the moment you have a little red flag behind your head, you have to step back and say, okay, well maybe I won't play this yet. Maybe I'll move to another game. And if it still sticks in your mind to, hey, maybe I should play it, then at that point, 10 years from now, yeah, maybe I'll play it.
10 years from now.
Well, I don't know. I started Skyrim in 2011. And I'm still on it, so tell me, how long does it take me to play a game?
And your Morrowind, you're still at that. You started that, what, in 2007 or 2006, something like that?
2009.
2009?
Is when I started doing the videos on YouTube, yes.
Okay.
2004 was the first time I had installed it on my computer. I explained it, I uninstalled it because I just couldn't understand what the hell was going on. I got it it was in first person, so I thought maybe it was more not necessarily a shooter, because I've played the Wizardry game way back on DOS, so it's like a first person RPG. I got that, but I couldn't understand what you were supposed to do in the game, even though I read perfectly English, I understood what the characters were saying to me. I didn't get it. But I keep that's the backstory I keep telling people. When Todd Howard explained what Oblivion was at that E3 demo in 2005, the game came out in 2006.
That's right. Yeah.
But I think the E3 at that point was a year before when they were announcing it and they were showing it off. Whoa, this is what the game was going to look like. A lot like what they did with Skyrim is they released videos of at E3 prior to the release, right? So they explained what the game was. Oh, okay, it's an open world where I can pick mushrooms and kill deers and slay dragons. All right, I'm cool with that. And then I played Oblivion, and then I fell in love with the series, and then I had to go back
and do Morrowind.
So I started that in 2009. I'm a little late in that party, but it's still the same game file. It's still the same character since then. So I'm really slow when it comes to.
Well, yeah, the way you put it was, now that I have a little experience with the series, I thought that I would go back and play Morrowind.
Yeah, I always like to, because I like to. Again, I'm repeating myself. The mechanical, right? So, as a gamer, I love to experiment with the academics of a game. How does it evolve? How it was from a game design standpoint. I still enjoy the concept of what's D&D and what's Pathfinder, which are two very distinct tabletop role-playing games.
Angel
right?
needs to be here. Yeah, he's a huge
so it's what are the differences, and why is one favored, or what do people like about one, and what people don't like about the other, and whatnot. Final Fantasy, I hate the series, but I still play every single one because apparently it's so awesome. So I have to experiment and see what do people like about it, and what do I don't like about it. So I have to. I like to have that, not necessarily a checklist, but analyze how I play the game, and how I approach how I interpret the game,
Mm-hmm.
and how like interface works and all that stuff. So even games that I don't like, I will play. I tend to stick to the good ones, but
the only Final Fantasy game I played, well, actually, there's two of them. There's Final Fantasy VIII with Squall Leonhardt, and then there was another one where it used something called the Gambit system. I can't remember which one it was, but it was on the PlayStation 2, so whichever one that is. And that's it. And I never even beat that one. 10. I never beat that one. I just played a bit of it.
Okay.
And, but I did beat 8. I played it through just for the story, just to go through it, and I got attached to the characters, I suppose, but I just don't like the linearity of the game. Okay? I don't like being forced. All I'm doing is fighting, if you want to call it even that. Your guy steps forward, he doesn't move, and then it goes to the second one. You can't even name your characters, for God's sakes, and you don't design it. I am a fan of having to design a character, just like with the Witcher series, Witcher 3. Now I got another buddy of mine, Todd, who loves that game, and that's great. I'm sure I'm gonna love it, but the only thing that just bothers me about it is you have to play Geralt. You can't create the character. You can't choose the sex and the face, and I love creating my own character. So with Final Fantasy, I'm just gonna not like that at all. And then you get people that join you. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Like with the Dungeon Siege series. But at least I got to create my character. I get to customize my characters with different, with the perks now, and I like attributes in my games. And they took that out in Skyrim. But, I didn't really like that too much. Okay, but at least we got the the special thing that's come back and didn't really come back and never went anywhere, but in a Fallout series. So we're going back to attributes, which I love.
Well, it's a distinction between Western RPGs and Japanese RPGs at that point. Like the whole the how should I say this? The origins of those games and the cultural impact that these games have, even from a mechanical standpoint, where there's something about the culture of they're watching an anime, a cartoon that they can interact with. Right, because for me, it's basically you're preaching to the choir at this point. Where, as far as like the Japanese RPGs, and I have enjoyed a few of them, but to name like Final Fantasy, the only one I have not tried is 9, for some reason. It escaped me.
Okay.
I've tried every single one because I enjoyed the first one, where you had to pick and choose the kind of characters that you wanted to play with, and then the other ones were kind of meh. But the idea that you can't name your character, that was kind of, well, you can name your character, but it was like you couldn't really control what he was doing, how he was feeling, and stuff like that. So that is...
You already had history.
Yeah, it's totally fine when you consider like the cultural impacts that it had, and I always like to think back at the evolution of the pen and paper experience, because it all comes down to that. I like to explain it where, Tolkien started it with Lord of the Rings, and then that got adapted to the tabletop because computers didn't really exist back then, or it wasn't common. A common appliance in houses back in those days, in the 70s, right? So, because the Macintosh came out in '84, so one of the first personal computers. Well, the Apple II came in first, but so you had that. So your mind or your imagination was the rule set, and it was the calculator. Like you would roll the die, and you would compute and you would argue with the dungeon master on how you slayed the dragon. That was the system, right? And the thing is that the entire experience of a Dungeons and Dragons table set is a very good representation of what Tolkien was trying to do with the adventure and stuff like that. But when you look at video games in a whole and you dissect D&D, you can identify different video game genre. So you have the Japanese RPG, you have the Western RPG, you have the adventure games, So I don't know, like Donstar, if you remember like the King Quest series.
I remember it. Never played it though.
Okay, but you remember like the point-and-click adventure games where you have like one standing character. You couldn't customize it, but he was there, and then you would click on the rock, and you can like change your cursor to I want to look at rock, and then you would have a narrator who would say out loud, Alexander looks at the rock, and he notices that it's really heavy and can't pick it up, and that was it. And then you would try to pick it up, and the narrator would go back and say, it's really heavy, you can't pick it up. So you would try different things, and it was always an interaction between you and the narrator, and what that is, at its core, it's you playing Dungeons & Dragons and interacting with the Dungeon Master.
Yeah. I also remember those early DOS games like that, where it was just dialogue. You were typing, and I want to enter the cave. I turn left. There's a wall there. I turn left again. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an evolution of that. So when you look at it from that aspect, you got the adventure game who took the aspect of interacting with the Dungeon Master, and then you had the Japanese RPG, like the Japanese who had the same idea. Let's try to do that, but they took it from a let's tell a story. We'll have these giant. So it's almost like, from the perspective of the Dungeon Master, he was looking at all these characters that he had no control over, and he was trying to tell a story with it. And from the Western RPG, it was basically, we like to kill dragons, so let's don the armor and the shields and the helmets, and let's ride our horses and slay the giant beasts. And you look at it now, and they're complete alien. Like, one of them is not even considered an RPG. Like Telltale games, they're still called adventure games as far as I know, or they label that as puzzles.
Telltale games is the closest thing probably to like these old King's Quest games. Like here's one.
I played the series, loved it.
Yeah. I think I remember you playing this. As a matter of fact, years ago. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah.
So,
doesn't that kind of remind you of like a King's Quest kind of game?
Well, totally. I mean, Telltale's grew up with that, and they admit it to it. So it's like the genre is still, but we don't associate that with role-playing anymore. Even though, in some sense, it has more to role-play than a lot of modern RPGs these days.
I see what you're saying. Okay, I like that. I like that.
It's very different perspective on, you play Dungeons & Dragons, like Diablo. It evolved from a roguelike, but the idea was that the brothers who wanted to play a roguelike, they built they were playing their own Dungeons & Dragons campaigns, they were making their own, and they had no story in it. It was just about killing demons, because they liked that part of the game. Guess what? What do you do in Diablo? You kill demons.
And there's a main demon, Diablo.
Right. So they just adapted their D&D campaign into a roguelike, and same thing with the Ultima series. It's a giant series of video games, if not one of the first computer RPG video games in history. And what happened there is that Richard Garriott, the main video game developer, he was influenced by his own Dungeons and Dragons campaigns, and that was basically his adaptation to that. So it's all comes back to that one point, and everybody has a different idea of how to interpret or how to play.
And somewhat on a slight little tangent, if you remember, Quest of the Avatar, Ultima 4. And I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but I'm just going to randomly bring it up, and it just random thought in my head, and it just cracks me up what I did. If you remember, and I think it was in one of the villages, like not Buccaneer's Den, but one of the villages, there was a blind woman that sold reagents. And you have a choice, when you pay her, you can be honest and pay her the right amount, that what you owe for the reagents, or you can just pay her 1 piece of gold, and she slowly turns away. Is how the description.
Oh yeah, because you can punch in the amount of gold that you want to pay.
Yeah.
So if you decided to, even if you made a typo, you gave the wrong amount of money, and that was a good. I love that game so much, even though like I've never finished it, and it's
I would always
really
punch in
hard
one.
to play. But
I would always punch in 1.
you would always punch one, but it's good because it's one of those games where even the master of computer RPGs thought that people were playing games to a way where, I mean, it's like that even in Elder Scrolls to some degree, where people just go in, or like the Grand Theft Auto mentality of just going to someone's house
And
steal
rob.
everything, and everything's okay. You're the main character. Nobody cares, right?
Well,
They still want you to help them save their daughter from a group of bandits, and they'll completely forget about or even acknowledge that you stole everything from them, or you can kill them and nothing was going to happen. So he basically, when he built or designed Ultima 4, he was trying to bring the concept that the character was you transported into another dimension, and you would. And it would judge you based on your actions, right?
The virtues, right? Yeah.
Right.
That's why my friend Joe was telling me. You realize every time you kept giving her a penny or 1 gold, you're losing. I think it's honesty points, on your way to become an avatar. And I go, oh, okay, well.
I was always intrigued by the idea that, for me, it was courage and honor.
Honor, yes.
That was always an issue. Because it creates conflict with your character, because you want all of these stats to, because it's reputation grind. If you simplify it to its core, its Quest of the Avatar is just a grind of reputation. Honor, courage, honesty, spirituality, compassion, and there's tons more. And honor, the way the game would judge honor is basically on you shouldn't attack. You shouldn't attack someone who's running away from a fight.
That's it. That's what it is.
Because if you would kill, like orcs would attack you from left and right, but if you bash them enough in the head, they might be weak enough that they would run away. And if you say, well, I want the experience because I want to be stronger to kill the dragon, bash them in the head. That's dishonorable.
Whoops.
So you don't do that. But in the other upset is what happens is that you, if you get hurt, injured, and you want to run away from a fight, that's cowardly. And there are moments in the game where it throws all of that in a mixed bag where children would attack you.
Yeah.
What do you do? Because if you run away, that's cowardly. But at the same time, if you kill them, that's dishonorable.
Not to mention illegal.
Well, in that game, they didn't really care.
Yeah, no, I know.
And it's funny because Richard Garriott talked about that very instant in an interview at one point. I don't remember. I couldn't link you a video or anything like that. But he admits that that particular moment was not scripted at all. Like there was no. If you killed the children, it wouldn't even affect your score. But there was no way of knowing because it was already establishing the fact that it would judge you on your actions. So by the time you get to the point where you open a lever and all the kids in the cages would just swarm to you and try to beat you with their fists, you would get into that dilemma, right? And that's what I found that games are missing these days. It's that personal, like you get the Paragon and the
yeah.
Well, what is it? The Paragon and the Renegade
Paragon
options, right? Or
that's it.
It's very black and white. Or like Fable, it's very like you're good or evil. You have horns on your head, or you have like a halo, or what's the other one like? This not Dishonored, but like the platform, like the one like you're a kid, you're like a third person guy in an open world where you have like superpowers and you have like lightning and you're almost a Jedi, but
Knights of the Old Republic.
No. It's not a Star Wars one.
Oh,
I'm trying to think. It's like a modern day game. It has. It's tearing me.
is it on a console?
Yeah, it plays on PC and console.
Where is it Dishonored? There's a game called Dishonored. I have that.
I know of Dishonored, but that's not the game I was referring to.
Oh,
What is it called? Okay. You're basically a teenager who gets, I don't know, like he gets superpowers, and you either abuse him or you don't, and you, it's very black and white in terms of like good and evil, basically. And they always you always try to balance choices by like, oh, hey, if you do evil stuff, you get like the force grip power, or if you do the good stuff, then you get to heal people. But there's none of that gray area. There's none of that dilemma. You either choose A or choose B, and you stick with one. Or it's like our characters like in RPG where, like in the BioWare, where they have all these alternate characters to be in your group, and they design them so that they could be love interests.
Yes.
And the mentality that they have is that you pick one that you want to have as a mistress or mister, I guess, if you're wired that way. And what happened? Like, there's no. If you try hard enough, you will succeed in courting that character. There's no fail state. There's no, because it's just, I'm going to choose that character. All of these are pretty good, but I'm going to choose that character, and I'm going to go with that one because that's my choice. And if I want to replay, I'll just like reload and choose the other character just for a different story. And I feel that's not good enough these days.
Here's the thing, though. Back with like how you said how it was more personal with Quest of the Avatar. Let's say, for example. See, before I was told about losing honor points and the courage and honesty and all that, I would just play it just not even think about any of those things until later on when I was told later about all these things. I noticed that I started paying attention too much about the mathematics of that and not just playing it the way I would play it. So I almost feel like I think you would agree. It's best not to know certain things about it, just so you can play it naturally, and your character naturally evolves. But the thing is, too, there were different kind of subcategories. There was, like you said, the honor, the courage, the honesty, and all that stuff. But it never really you're getting those points, but it's never really deciding whether you're good or evil. You're still always on the good side, anyways. But see, with like games like Elder Scrolls.
You try to, in any case, to be good. Hopefully.
You try to be, in any case, except unless you're ripping the blind woman off like I was doing. But that, but like in an Elder Scrolls game, or even like Mass Effect, even though there's some linearity to that, but it's still, it's still you have more freedom than, to me, in any case, than like a Final Fantasy game. You're slowly, eventually, you're gonna go towards like good or evil, but if it balances, like if you do like with the Fable game, you do something evil, then it pushes you more towards evil. You do something good, it pushes you towards good or evil. If you keep going back and forth to stay somewhat neutral, then the invisible slider is still somewhere in the middle, or maybe it's leaning a little bit more towards evil, a little bit more towards good. So in a way, it's the games now have a bit more customization in terms of your alignment, don't you think? Elder Scrolls too, even though there's no clear slider, but it's like the history you're carving with the paths that you take and the choices that you make, whether you are breaking into the houses, whether you are doing like backstabs and slitting people's throats in the middle of the night.
The stories that you create for yourself definitely have as much flexibility that you want. Which is to me the purpose of having open world sandbox RPG, and it's totally fine. I think like you don't like fuzzy logic, like to not show stats going up or down is fine. But even if you present them, have the idea that let's say you want to be a good guy, but what is being good, right? If you believe that doing something is for the good of things, like that's what I love about the Ultima 4 is the concept that even if you try to do good, you can't have all the pie, right? Because you will sacrifice something that you hold so dear. You want it because you want to be nice to people. You also want the gold so that you can get better equipment, so you can slay the dragon to save the princess or whatever. But you have that conflict within you, not because the game told you needed conflict, but because even if it shows you the stats, which I don't care for necessarily, but even if it shows you the stats, that you in your mind you're like, what am I supposed to do? As opposed to a lot of games where it's like, well, today I'm just going to be evil. There's no in the Elder Scrolls there are moments that I find are interesting because the best example I have is it's not so much of a choice between good or bad, but it's mostly about living with the consequences of your actions. And in Oblivion, there's a quest that I hold so dear in my heart because it's the I love Coral, and there's a quest line in Coral that has a father who is in an inn, and he's drunking himself silly because he wants to defend his farmland with his sons because it's under attack by goblins. And what happens is that you're supposed to help him, or he's asking you to help him in his stead. And what you do is you talk to the sons and say, okay, I'm going to help him. I'm going to help you guys instead of your father. Let's do this. Let's defend our farm. And what happens is that you can lose both of the sons.
Yeah.
Or just one. Or you can save them both. You can complete a quest, but you also have a fail state, in a sense. And it's not like, oh, you failed the mission, start over. No, the game keeps going on, and then the father recognizes that he lost one of his sons, or both, and it affects your reward and stuff like that. And you kind of have that conflict within you. But having like a decision of, do you reveal the secret identity of something, and that will destroy the world, or do you save your partner? Like, who's like being threatened? Like, what do you do? Like, do you want to risk the world, or you want to save your partner? You need both at the same, like at one point. So I like those choices, and I feel it's still lacking even in games like the Elder Scrolls series. But at least what they do right is the effect that they let you control how you want to play,
and you remember those moments too.
And you still remember those moments. So it's like, I want it to be this, and I can choose to be, and the game is letting me to do that, and I really love that. For any
sliders or anything, or turning your looks good or evil, it's what you remember. That, you know what I mean. There was a point where, and it's all kept, at least documented, in your journal, which I love. Which it's not so detailed anymore in Skyrim, which is sad. Morrowind had the best journal. And Oblivion was okay, and it was still good. At least Oblivion's journal is better than the one that Skyrim had, where it's just
it was functional. I think I think to me the difference is that Oblivion over all the other Elder Scrolls is that the quest log was functional for a video game. So to me, mechanic takes place. Morrowind's journal was interesting because almost like Oblivion's journal is it was written in perspective of your character.
Yeah, which I love.
Which I thought was refreshing. Because in Skyrim it's just, here's a checklist.
Yeah.
Collect A, B, and C, and go talk to. And it was really confusing because I had a quest line that I think I glitched out or something, where I got some pieces of, like, it's the quest line where you're drunk at a bar and you trying to you bargain for a staff or some such.
Oh yeah.
And then you drink and then you teleport to like a completely different towns, like across the other side of the country.
Yeah,
and then you're trying to, like, the mystery is trying to piece out like what happened to that night. And for some reason it got glitched out, and I got pieces of following steps before, like I got step C before A and B, and my journal was just like, just couldn't read it anymore. Like it was just like the checklist was just wrong at that point. So yeah, Skyrim is lacking, but I still love that flexibility. And I will always say this: as much as I like Ultima, as much as I like good old-fashioned like the Baldur's Gates and stuff like that, to me, the Elder Scrolls is the closest thing to a D&D experience.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can play and there's no mechanics in your way.
And those are always my favorites. Because I loved the D&D. I played that as a teen. But then I played it again in my adult life. As a teen, I kept getting kicked out by my cousin for doing silly things. I'll just
From a tabletop?
From a tabletop, because he was the DM. I would do things like, this is when I first discovered the game, and you can do anything, right? Because I would always just play like Bard's Tale and stuff like that, where it's, there's still limitations in a PC game. So when I was playing D&D, this is as a young teen, like 12, 13 and up, I was like, wait a minute, I can do anything? Like literally, I can say I jump up and down, and that's cool. And he goes, yeah. So I jump up and down. Okay, oh, this is great. And then we got to an inn, and I said, and I'm in my room, and I said, okay, and he's trying to go on with the story, and I said, wait a minute. I run up to the window. What's outside the window? I was just totally amazed at this, and he's describing the forest.
Okay.
And I'd say, like, I shoot the trees. Finally, my cousin goes, the trees come back alive and kill you. You die. Get out. You're done. I said, but what? So, yeah.
Yeah, I can understand his point of view in the sense, like,
I was just a dumb kid.
Yeah, there was a narrative, and you were just trying to... You were basically playing a video game, and he was trying to move the story along, so it's like, yeah, you're a nuisance. Go away.
I was just a dumb kid, but, and then I got the hang of it, and then I started playing again when I was 23, 24, and I played for some years, as an old guy. 23 was playing it for a while until our DM Joe, he had a stroke, so unfortunately, so he's completely paralyzed on the whole right side. Now it's very sad, and then the group, our DM group, just sort of disbanded, and slowly we just kind of moved and drifted apart. There's still like a few that I'm still kind of in touch with, but it's just not,
Yeah, I mean, D&D takes a lot of time and dedication to play a campaign or even set up.
Mm-hmm.
That even with my friends and family and stuff like that, we never really got the chance to play D&D. So for us, it's board games.
Okay, those are cool.
Card games, board games, and stuff like that. And the one that really struck me, really like, it struck home, as in this is like almost in D&D. And in hindsight, I look at the box now, and it's made by Wizard of the Coast.
Well, there you go.
So it is from the creators of Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering and stuff like that. But they build a board game that plays almost like a roguelike, and it has very, like, you explore a haunted house type of thing, and scenarios are random, and you play with other people, and it's almost like a very simplified, to the core Dungeons and Dragons experience that you play within like 1 or 2 hours. So then you just put everything back in the box, and next year you can play it again, type of thing. So it's not like a huge investment. And the game is called Betrayal at the House on the Hill.
I've never heard of it.
And it is fantastic. It's almost like, if I ever talk to like a game designer or an aspiring game designer, what I normally do is like go play that game, and then come back to me and tell me what you think about it, and how does that influence how you think about games from then on. Because it's something special, especially if they manage to do that on a tabletop. Which nowadays, because of computer games and like Donstar just started back with like the Grand Theft Auto, or even like watching his brother play like Call of Duty and stuff like that, where it's like, oh my God, these are video games. You can actions, and it's very cinematic. It's very dramatic perception of like the World War II or some scenario you have. board games tend to be like not necessarily the boring side, but it's like it's monotonous or it's slow. It's like plays like molasses because you got to wait your turn, you got to roll your die and stuff like that. But to keep it very straightforward, very simple, very to the game, to me, when I find one of those games, it's like I have to put a highlight on that because it's a lot of video games, especially back in the days, were designed as board games to test out if it would run, like if it would work as a video game. Because nowadays, if you just do a prototype like in Flash or you do a prototype like in Unity, you try it out, it's like, oh, okay, it looks good, or Unreal Engine or whatever. And it's like, okay, now we start development. You sell your pitch. You say, this is a video game, this is my idea, and then you work on that. But before that, you had like let's build like with cardboard like a board game, and that'll be your video game and stuff like that. And it's interesting to me because Blizzard Entertainment, when they were building Hearthstone, a game I don't necessarily care for, but Hearthstone is their collectible card game. And their card game, and the way they built it, like the production of that game, they actually printed out their own like paper cards, and they were playing that physically to test out some mechanics, and then they apply that into the virtual video game because it's easier to test out quickly. Right. By drawing stuff on the whiteboard or just having a physical, tangible element. So,
right.
Which is
kind of like I forgot what you call that. Like in the movies, they the draft board or whatever.
Storyboard.
They do the storyboard first, right, and then they proceed. Yeah, and Roger. His name is Roger. Even though it's knows all about that. He's actually a screenwriter. He's into pictures.
Oh, interesting.
Really.
Because I started out as a visual effects artist.
Oh, there you go. Cool.
This is his movie.
It's my brother's movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Did you screenwriter on the?
By the way, you never sent that back, did you?
No, I'm gonna keep it. Ordering another one.
I'm just saying,
better
because
condition.
it's a rental copy, I thought you were gonna try to send it back and get another one or something.
I'm fine with that. I mean, I'll keep it just because Hollywood Video no longer exists.
Oh,
so I'm going to keep
collector's item.
Souvenir. Yeah, collector's item. But then I'm going to order a brand new one, and that's the one I want you to sign. By the way, Raj lives like 30, 40 minutes away from me?
Probably
no,
20.
less than that, probably.
Less than that, yeah.
Maybe like 20 minutes away from me. So
yeah.
So we want to do a hangout. And in case you're wondering, sometimes Gix, Raj knows all about this too. Sometimes the sound cuts out a little bit for me, even though I have a hard connection.
I was going to ask because you're wearing headphones, we're not. How's the echo? Are we okay?
It's fine.
For me?
It's fine.
Oh, yeah, okay.
No, I'm just checking because usually everybody wears headphones. And Sammy, didn't you say you were going to get a new PC or something? Because you are like...
You're spazzing out.
I'm spazzing out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've been spazzing out. See, like right now I'm waving, and you're going to see it as like a
You're like the old
book,
Max Headroom show.
But not... yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, the thing is, I really don't know, guys. I mean, I'm jacked in. You know, I have a hard Ethernet connection, and maybe it has something to do with me having 1.96 gigabytes of RAM. This is a ThinkPad. It's a Lenovo.
The other thing I was going to say is you should maybe try to get a bigger monitor, because I notice when you look, you're always going down real close to it.
Yeah, but that's due to it. It's not. It pixelates. Not pixelates. It's not as sharp. You know what I mean?
But even if you're still going to use your laptop, have some, a separate monitor, a bigger one that you can plug it into, so you're not squinting trying to see.
I got a TV over there, and what I'll maybe do is I'll connect this, or when I get a new one, my brother says it's at Micro Center. There's one for like $900 that's actually better than this.
Yeah.
And what I'll do is I can drag the mouse and transfer it on my TV screen right over there.
Yeah, that'd be best.
But yeah,
I'm watching the chat on YouTube as the people going out. Thrashed Fingers just said, LOL, the spazzing kind of reminds me of the music video for Rap God.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Rap God.
Quite a few people in here. You got Thrash Fingers, you got Caraco's Game Over D, Killer Nerd
Hey,
75.
Mark, what's up? Yeah, this is fantastic.
Who else? Aaron Cotino from our earlier chat we did a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
48X Games.
Wow. Fantastic.
Uh,
And hey, Mark, say hi to Heather
Gix.
for me.
Oh, you're watching the chat too, right, Gix?
Oh, Gix is
Hey,
watching?
I'm looking at the chat. Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
What's your name, by the way?
Um,
Or you don't give that. That's cool if you don't.
it's
Oh,
yeah.
good.
Well, it's because I try to keep my personal, professional,
Okay.
and so I
That's
try
cool.
not to divulge that information.
No, that's cool. We'll call you Gix. That's cool, if that's all right.
Appreciate it.
No,
Yeah.
Like I have shared the name a couple of times, but
no, I
Yeah.
totally understand. I totally understand. I learned all that. I learned a Hangout protocol.
okay.
Okay, I'll,
One of the first Hangouts I was in, I was totally blasted. And I was like, I watched it back and I can't do that again. So,
real quick, guys. I don't even know how long we've been on for, but it is 11 p.m.
It's a couple of hours. Yep.
Couple hours.
yeah, I'm going to be dropping off soon.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to end this soon. But I mean, when I stop the broadcast, we can still talk for like a few more minutes before we depart. We don't have to just exit out the window. So yeah, I guess we can. If you guys are cool with it, I guess we can end this in like a few minutes or so. And
If you're going to do that, I'll hang on.
okay, yeah, and then yeah, I mean, just because I go, you know. But what was I gonna say? Please, guys, feel free, and matter of fact, I encourage this. If you could also upload this on your respective channels, you could have been doing this. Have you been doing that, Raj? Uploading all the Hangouts you've been a part of?
You know, you got to show me how to do that. I don't know how I can put it where it will be on my, you know, in my videos.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that. So maybe later when we could talk privately, you can show me or tell me.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. And that way, I mean, there's also some people. I put their links down in the script below here too. So I mean, Gix, do you know how to pull this down too and put it on your channel? Do you mind doing that? Or?
I don't mind, but I just don't. This
Yeah,
is
we
the
don't
first
know.
time I've ever used the Hangout.
Really? I thought you've been on Hangouts before.
No, this is the only one. I've done some
Jesus.
I've done some stuff on Skype where I would have like video conferencing, but as far as like a live hangout, this is the first one. So I have like
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Oh, man.
so I just discovered like the Hangout page and I was like, okay, well there's my friend list, and I just like invite here, and yeah, it's straightforward, but yeah, and it would require some tinkering before I can figure that out. But no, I have not done any streaming on that.
There's a thing called YouTube Downloader. If you just Google, excuse me, if you just download YouTube Downloader, you basically copy the link of this video from my channel.
Oh, you know what, Sammy? I got a program called Savedeo, Savedeo, and it does the same thing. That's how I usually a lot of times I capture whatever I like on YouTube, trailers and things. But then I just have to upload it onto my channel just like a regular video.
Just like a regular video, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I didn't know if it was just like because there's that share button under the videos. I didn't know if that had anything to do with it.
No, that's to share with other people so they'll see it. But you basically, the thing is, you have to download this video onto your laptop, and once it's on not your laptop, but your computer, and then you can just upload it like anything else. It's kind of like it becomes your video, and then it's yours, and then you have to upload it just like you normally would onto your channel.
Okay, I'll do that.
There's some folks down there that oh yeah, what were you gonna say, Gix?
I was gonna say, like, if anything, I was just gonna link your video on my site, and that's it. Like,
it's easy. Here, as a matter of fact,
yeah, as long as Sammy doesn't delete the videos, we could just use the link.
Because that's what everyone else have been doing, so long as they're able. I think Jace has done it. Gary's done it. That's another person you got to meet is Gary. It's a girl, spelled Geri. She helps in Bulgaria. As I like to call her, the beautiful Bulgarian, Gary G. And let's see here. she's a hardcore gamer as well. Sir Wolfbane, that's Vince. Here,
Yeah,
YouTube.
you gotta get them all on. They're heavy duty gamers.
Absolutely. That's why I wish you could have come on today.
You have to do one of your overnights.
Yeah. Here we go. Okay. Here we go.
Well, you and I have an hour interval difference because for me it's like midnight. So as far as scheduling is concerned, I don't see that being too much of an issue doing this more frequently or more than once. Like, I'm not seeing this as a one-time thing. So if there's any moment where, it just depends like how much spare time I have on my end, because I have this nasty habit of keeping myself obsessively busy. So, like today was okay. Like today was programming day. I figured, I haven't done this in a long time, so I might as well chat with people. So
yeah, and this is like a perfect time for me too. I mean, the time that we started,
right.
So long as I don't have to work the next day, Monday night and Tuesday night, which is tonight, and I just linked it. Did you see that link?
Yeah, I see that.
You click on that.
Weird to see that
download it for free. And you can it becomes your video now, because it is. This video is very much your videos who have been on here as it is mine. So you guys have exactly as much rights to it. So it belongs on your channels as well. But also it's for exposure for us all. Not that you need the exposure there, Gix. You've got like 14K. So it does benefit me more. But not only that, but there's people I want to acknowledge as well, such as those gamers, which I left a link down in this description box when you open it up. If you could copy that link and put it on there as well. I have your link, of course, as the top. I'm going to provide the links of everyone who's joined in, which is, of course, Channel Donstar and Skinslip, who have come.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Media. Yeah, do you see all those links on? Yeah, those reviews to Toddy Walnuts to Sir Wolfbane. I want these guys to be recognized, and if you could please, and if you're able to get it on your channel, so I want people to become aware of those guys and all those people I put down there, Aaron Pin, Toddy Walnuts and everyone, and as well as Channel Donstar and Skin Slip and Gone Hollow Media. Armantrax is another gamer. Spy the Movie Guy is another gamer. So I want them to be more recognized. They deserve a lot more subscribers than what they have already. A lot more. They're fantastic.
Sounds good.
Sounds good, yeah. And I guess one final thing to end it off is with the Fallout 4. I don't know what date it comes out for you in Canada. November 10th is it over here is when it comes out.
It's a North American release at this point. So whenever US has a release date, Canada is basically on the same.
Oh, it's the same. Okay.
It's the same, yeah.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Let me ask you a little gaming question, being that you're in Canada, and maybe this is different in Europe too, but when a game comes out, is it just a basic game for everybody, or do they have like region locks like they do with movies?
They have some region locks in Quebec, but not as, how should I say this? It's not like you can't play the game over there. It's more like I live in Quebec, and what happens is that I can't necessarily, we're not necessarily allowed to purchase games that don't offer a French version.
Ah, okay.
Because there's a law in Quebec to, so the stores there. A lot of them don't have the rights to sell English-only copies of the game.
Okay, now being that these are online games, if let's say the game wasn't coming out in Quebec and Sammy sent you a copy from the States, would it play on your system?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Being that it's online, will you get in trouble because it doesn't have a French version?
No, it's only the selling and purchasing aspect.
Okay.
So, for example, Skyrim, I couldn't buy it in my province. I had to order it from Toronto.
Okay. That's cool.
Which is kind of annoying.
But if someone was, say, to gift you, an American game.
I wonder if that's different, like for like Vince, in New Zealand and stuff like that.
I wouldn't know. But say like
New Zealand, yeah, and I know that's been kind of weird.
For Steam, for example, anything on Steam, it's just a store, but at that point, there's no. It's a lot, mostly about like shopkeepers and how like they handle their inventory more than anything. So there's no government scans, or there's no lockup. It's not like about hardware. It's not about. It's
That's
just
cool.
primarily because they want to keep. Like we have laws here at Scala 101 where if you have a business, you should, or you kind of have to be able to speak at least French in Quebec. So if you're English, and you might have problems because they want people to be able to hire French-speaking Canadians in so that's the only limitation. It's just like if I have to go to a store and buy it, I might have a problem getting it. And I always buy my games in English, so I might have a problem buying it physically ever since I moved here like 5 years ago. So that's the only constraint. But we don't have like region lock where where it's like in Australia where some games are banned or I mean, we're Canadians.
You're a neighbors. How you doing, neighbor?
Hello.
You're in the same. You must be around. You're in Pin. AJ Punk 15. I think there's one other. I can't remember. Yeah. Zara Nizarak, which is Sean. Yeah.
Well, hell, most of his crew are
you guys
gamers.
are fellow Canadians.
Most of Zara Nizarak's crew are gamers. You got.
Hey, Sean. Or Zara Nizarak. Sean's also a gamer.
You got Sean, you got Garbage Gamer. I can't think of what his name is, but Garbage Gamer is what he goes by.
Also want to shout out Movie Man, who hails from Australia. That's Movie Man Chase. So, here we go. I'll be leaving his link as well. He's another one of my very dear buddies on here, along with Angel Tarragon, which I think the link is down there already.
I don't think I'll be able to download and re-upload the video, considering that the downloader is a Windows app. I might have problems running that, but I will definitely link the video and publish it
awesome.
on my side.
When you link it, when you mean you're gonna put it on a video, right? Or in a video?
I'm gonna try to redirect. So it'll show up on my site, but when you click on it, it's going to be your page.
Right. There's that under the actual video box on YouTube. There's a share, and if I click on that, I'm able to share it on my channel as like a spotlight video. But as soon as I upload another video, that spotlighted video is going to move down and then eventually disappear.
Oh, interesting.
I noticed that, like, if you go to your YouTube main page, it usually has your most recent video. But if you do that share and attach it to your channel, that video will then be the spotlighted video until you add a newer video of your own. And then that moves it out of the way. Once that video you linked is gone, you could always return it back to that spotlight position. But it's going to constantly move down the more videos you add.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, if you can,
instead of downloading and uploading, and
when you link it, I hope it's not asking too much. But those links I provided to those fellow YouTubers, if you could maybe link those as well.
Well, they'll be attached, Sammy. If he does the thing I just said, where you basically just share it to his channel.
It's basically your video is my video at that point, without me.
And if they click on the message, they'll see all your links.
Yep.
They'll see all your comments and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Because I want them to all be recognized and get more subscribers as well.
That's a lot of work
We're
to
all
download it and then
I mean,
upload it again.
I don't have any issues if next time, if we organize it, we could probably, like, I could stream it on my end or some such, and
Sure,
so we
yeah.
would have both, and then it would be our own videos and stuff like that. I don't have a problem with that. It's just that the method
Okay.
right now, I just can't get it to work, and considering it's like midnight, I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I gotcha.
There's just so much I can do. But yeah, YouTube is giving me so much trouble. It's like I'm getting too old for this.
Trust me, I'd switch
I started in 2009, and it was convenient. And now they changed so much stuff that I can't find my messages anymore. Like, I can't find comments, and
Me too.
sometimes I'll find the page, and it's like the latest message I had is like from 10 months ago. It's like, oh, I haven't replied to it. So it's
Like-
it's really painful, but
You know what's because I had mine set to have emails sent whenever I got a comment, but the same thing with you. Sometimes I don't get those messages. The easiest thing I remember to do is by going to your channel, clicking on Video Manager, and then when you click that, you'll see a list of all your videos, and on the far right side it gives you a bunch of lists, and one of them is Community. If you click on that, it'll give you all the messages.
Yep. Thank you for telling me how to do that too, Don. You told me how to do that.
it's the Video Manager part that I don't. I have a hard problem. Like, where? Oh, Video Manager right there.
Yeah, and you see where it says
Underneath every one of your videos, there's a little box.
Yeah. I normally like hand type youtube.com/messages.
No, just do the video.
But
Manager, and then
Is
you
it
see
easier
your
to do it that way?
community. If
I
you
see
click
it
on
now.
that,
Oh God.
Just a few more shout-outs here to
You'll
Leroy.
see all-
Oh, sorry.
you'll see all the comments that people have written, and you'll see private messages people have sent you through YouTube.
Yeah.
As far as emails are concerned, I have like 41,000 unread emails on that account. So it's like it's not something that I can just relink to. Like, I can't read all that.
The disadvantage of being somewhat famous, right?
Yeah, you truly are a celebrity.
Or popular.
It's scary because I don't consider myself that.
It incites stalkers. I'm just joking.
Right? It's like there's always a bigger fish.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
We can't all be Pootie Pie.
No. I mean, it also, like... I kind of deserve it in the sense, like, I don't... should I say this? I don't, like, push my YouTube as much as I could, as much as most people try to have. But it's like, I remember back in the day, a lot of people would compare me to Variax because we both did Morrowind almost at the same time kind of thing, or we were both like starting out. And I remember where people were almost like competing. Like they were comparing my channel with his channel, and we were almost like competing indirectly because they were doing the comparison about the amount of subscribers that I had versus the amount of videos that I had. Like the ratio of subscribers to video compared to Variax, and amazing guy. And even at one point, like there was a comment on his channel that was saying, "How do you feel that Gix has over 10,000 or something like 5,000 back in those days subscribers, but he's like the lazy bastard only has like something like 100 videos?" And Variax replied very humbly that it really shows the skill of Gix by the fact that he got so much out of so little. But right now he's like at 23,800, and I'm like, he's doing his own thing, and I kind of like. I've been 14,000 for a long time now, if not 2 years, if not more. So like it's like steady, but then again, I don't upload as much as like people say like they're lucky if I put a video up, essentially, because I barely upload a video a month. Like I've been back into the pacing now. I came back to it because like for me, like work hours, it's like it's by wave, right? Sometimes you got crunch, sometimes you don't. So now I'm in a phase where I'm not so much in a crunch, so I can allow myself to play games and record and upload and stuff like that. So sometimes like I had like almost a year of no updates, or every one video per month or something like that. It's not a pacing that people are willing to accept so much.
Yeah.
So I don't consider myself popular, but I have gained some popularity. I had some people associate me with Elder Scrolls because that's basically all I do. People associate me with the guy who has the webcam. I don't know if you guys do that with your videos.
Are you talking about when you do the picture-in-picture?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
People, I mean, it's not true, but people associate me as being one of the first.
Wow.
Okay.
I think even the word pioneer was used in some of the descriptions. So, and it was I didn't start that, but
Golf applause.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's cool. I mean, if someone's doing that is groundbreaking. You know.
And I do want to say this. Well, first, and I'll give these shout-outs in just a moment. There was a time for me. I mean, I don't have a lot of subscribers, but I almost felt like I wanted to quit before when I was doing a lot of the LPs, Let's Plays. I don't get a lot of views on that, and that's fine. That's okay. I don't really do them to get a lot of views.
Well, that's it. You just do it, play, put it up there,
and people who do enjoy watching them, who's gamers, do watch them, and that I very much appreciate that. But I just felt more of like the interaction with people, getting comments. I always like getting comments and interacting with people. That's right, it's great. You got 41,000, eh? But so I made a video when I was doing my the Dragon Age Inquisition, and I was talking about how I wanted to thinking about quitting because I said basically my content is just not that good, and I'm not getting a lot of interaction from people. But I don't feel that way anymore, and I had people to all these folks here who have helped me out and made me feel better about it and stuff. And now I just I don't want to say don't care. I do care, because if I say I don't care, it means I don't care about all my subscribers, but I do care and love them all. And most of them have become friends. I consider like almost like family to me in a way. Really close friends. And you're one of them too, Gix, of course. And Raj knows already, and these other guys who have been on here just a while ago, they know it. Even though this is our first hangout we've done, right? But through conversations, it's that's how I feel. So I just still make my LPs like I did my Assassin's Creed Syndicate. It only has 8 views, 10 views, and that's okay.
Don't matter. Just do your thing, man. Just do your thing and put it out there.
But I put up my movie-related stuff, and it's get a lot of views. Those get like anywhere from like 40 views up to like 200 views sometimes, and those ones get a lot because I'm known more of a movie guy. I started out that, even though I wanted to do Let's Play videos, but I just couldn't because now the Twitch thing is new for Xbox One. I still want to get I forgot how you pronounce it, Hopage, or who corrected me, Hopage.
It just depends. It depends on the audience. I mean, look at Skinslip. Skinslip's been doing it for years, and he's got a big following. He did that rant about John Carpenter, and he's, through the cosmos, all the views he had with that thing, and shares and parody videos. You never know who's watching. You never know if maybe most people think of you as a movie person and not really a gaming person. So the gaming community hasn't found you yet, type of thing. But the movie people have, so they're used to seeing your reviews and your your pickups and stuff. Like I said, it's just do your thing. YouTube's here. They're letting us put videos out there. You can record videos, gaming, movies, whatever, just simple chats talking about crap. Just do it. Don't worry about who's viewing, who's
There are 2 things I want to say on that. The first one is that it's a double-edged sword. Because it's a double-edged sword, meaning the quantity of viewership Am I breaking up on you, or
Yeah,
because you
yeah,
seem very intent on listening and you're closing out? Anyways, it's
yeah.
having a lot of viewers isn't necessarily like it's always interesting and fine. Like oh look how many views I can get like within an hour.
Yeah.
Um, but the aspect of in some cases, a lot of viewers means you have a lot of critics,
Yeah.
right?
That
So
is true.
a lot of people like what I do. A lot of people like what I do despite the things that I do. Because I don't min-max, right? I don't do this or I don't do that. And like they're shouting at the computer, "Oh man, Gix is such an idiot. Why did he do this? Why did he do that?" And those people are very verbal, and sometimes it can get really emotionally pounding to receive that on not necessarily on a daily basis, but frequently. So I'm not saying that this is basically how I have it on my community, but I remember like there's a couple of videos where I blocked comments on those videos because something I said in that video or some such a reaction, and it just triggered comments, and it's like I don't, and it's like not necessarily flame war, but it's just like I don't want to listen to that conversation anymore. Like let it go.
Yeah.
We'll disagree or something like that. So there's that I want to say. Like there's the quantity is not. It shows it's a bar that you can measure up on your quality. That's one thing, but it's not the be all end all answer to that. It's just like a measurement, but you need more instruments to be able to judge how you're doing with like content wise and all that stuff. It's just one of the instruments that you need to use in order to calibrate how's like I talk to sometimes other streamers and stuff like that, and they have like giant microphones set up, and it's like they have way more invested than like I'm using this since freaking what 2010 maybe. Like it's sounds alright. Like I haven't pushed my for the longest time I didn't have a secondary light to brighten my face. Like people barely saw what and especially when I was wearing black shirts. So it's like you do what you can, you do what you want, and the numbers is just a factor to your measurement.
Yeah.
And the other thing I wanted to say is, and I'm actually rushing here just to remember exactly the other point that I had. Thinking, oh yeah, there's a certain strategy involved when it comes to the type of videos that you want to upload, the games that you want to upload, and the frequency at which you want to upload. So, for example, I got like and Donstar almost like brushed up on that briefly on one of his comments where I'm known for, say, Elder Scrolls. If I put like a Call of Duty game, my public is not necessarily going to react positively to those videos because I'm not known to do
if you put up a what?
like a Call of Duty game. Something is like something that's completely out of the. I mean, they're first person, but they're bang bang shooters, right?
Yeah.
So and I handpick, like when I look at a game, I always look at, can I stream this? Can I let's play this? Can I...
I gotta run to the bathroom very, very quickly. I'm trying to hold it in.
all right. Well, I'll speak to Donstar and then he can repeat it.
You can watch it back on the review.
Oh yeah, you can watch it back. So this is for you. So yeah, like what I
that
do...
makes perfect sense. You might actually pick up the Call of Duty people then, who might be new viewers to you because they're interested in Call of Duty gameplay. But you're right, the people that you have established by playing the other game, they're going to be like, well, why is he playing this now? Why is he...
there's that rejection.
Yeah.
But there's also the fact that I might not be the best player for, like, for example, Call of Duty. They might expect people to be good at the game.
Yeah.
Whereas the games that I play, it's about like naturally reacting. It's about the role play aspect. So you can play at any pacing that you want, and it's okay. And you attract those kind of people. So if you play Call of Duty, then you might attract people, but they might say, well, okay, well, this is weird. This guy's not using the right gun for the right situation, or
it's not a skilled
so
player.
so it's not a skilled player, or maybe I'm really good at it. I don't know. But like this is not the right format for me, so they'll go away. Some people like criticize me, especially early on, where I don't care about watching your face when I want to watch a video about playing the game. I just want to watch the game. Why do you have your face, you narcissistic bastard? And I'm like,
Was that at the beginning before everybody does it now?
a lot of people do it, but it's like, yeah, I had that.
About everybody I see doing gameplay has their little face in there somewhere.
Yeah, first in the corner.
Big, and
So
the
yeah.
very small.
I was one of the few who started, but I couldn't necessarily agree on the term like pioneer or whatever. But I guess I made it popular to some extent. I influenced a lot of people to do that, sure. But in a sense, I kind of agree. Sometimes when I watch a video, I just want to watch the footage. And having the guy there, like it depends on the game. And so again, with the strategy is like I set up rule sets where for my channel, whenever it's a Twitch or whenever it's a YouTube, first of all, I have different rules for them. So I'm more relaxed when I play like on Twitch, when I stream, because there's no real format to it. But I avoid puzzle games. I avoid games that have a very not necessarily linear, but a very simple, straightforward storyline, because I want to invite you to play the game for yourself. I don't want here to play it for you. So I play games like RPGs because they tend to be more flexible in that regard. My game is going to be different from yours. This is how I play. Let's share and compare notes. Normally, like in some games like Oblivion, which I play, I've played it a lot before I started playing YouTube, where normally like the videos I'm known for is for completely blind. I played it on my first experience is what you see on YouTube. But for Oblivion, I had a lot of experience. So what I did for that game is I made it into a showcase of this is how I play the game. So I talked a lot about the idea of why I do certain actions. Certain ways. But yeah, puzzles I avoid because you're basically solving the puzzles for them. In the case of, say, certain RPGs like the BioWare series, like Dragon Age, or even games like The Witcher, which is not a BioWare game, but it's like there's a lot of dialogue because story is a big part of it. And I noticed that I can't comment when they talk. Or you mute the game or stuff like that. But I'm a kind of guy who likes to be like part of the story. So how am I going to have an interaction with either the viewers or the NPC if my own character speaks for me or the other characters have a lot of dialogue? It's like, this is like a 15-minute, cinematic. How am I supposed to interject? Like, there's nothing. So I avoid those kind of games. So you gotta. The way I see it is you nitpick on the ones that you say, okay, this seems like a good game to stream, or this is a good game to do a let's play. To me, those are two separate things. And then there's the kind of games that you want to play just for yourself, just to because I kind of wrote myself in a corner where I'm playing all the Elder Scrolls on YouTube, and now it's like I don't want to spoil myself for the viewership's sake. So when I have spare time and I just want to play, I don't have an Elder Scrolls type game to play on my own time.
You have to.
I have to. So I kind of put myself in a corner there, which is a bit of a problem. So I try to avoid that now. But there's a lot of strategy involved, at least on my end, where on how to choose a video game. And the ones that I find for stream is the one that allows you to pause are very important. So you can interact with the chat, or games where you can name certain characters in your game based on the people who are watching. So there's some indirect, and I realized that in I think it was as early as 2010, maybe 2012. When I started streaming, I was playing a game called Myth: The Fallen Lords, which is a strategy game where each character on the screen, you could name them as different names. And I normally, like I would explain, like this is how I play a game. I would normally label these guys as friends that I knew from like high school, or because it's more interesting than way. Oh no, Bob died. Like drama. But I realized like, hey, wait a minute. I'm naming these guys based on the people I see on chat. They're reacting as their own character, almost like they're playing the game.
That's great. Yeah.
And it's like, well, this is actually kind of cool. I should do this more often. And and a lot of people do that with like Darkest Dungeon. A lot of people do that with like the moment you have a game where you can name characters based on people, like include your character. You're playing SimCity. Name that district after some dude on your stream or something like that, and they'll own it, even if it's a slum. Like they'll own it. So there's a little bit more. So you really gotta. I would push you, or I would encourage you to nitpick and pick and choose the fruits, because you don't want to put like when you build a salad, you just don't want to put all of it in. You just gotta. You need your leaves, yes, your greens, but like. Put a tomato here and there, and just don't put all of it in. So for stream, do some stream. If you only do stream, then pick your formula, put that in, and then you have the other strategy of frequency, right? So how often do you upload a video, and how often? Like if you're playing a really fast-paced game, don't do a video once a month. Like if it's about narration and story, try to get like a steady flow, almost like an episodic. I'm not even following that formula, but it's like try to do like a TV series. I receive a lot of comments of the 4,000 something that I don't read. That sometimes I get stories of, you're like, I love watching your videos. You're almost like a TV show. You're replacing my TV at this point. I'm like, all right, well, that's kind of. And sometimes I get replies like, "Oh, I love watching you," or turning your channel up while I sleep. It's like, all right, that's kind of creepy, but yeah, whatever. So it's like, you gotta find. I don't think you should find, but you will eventually fall in some kind of a niche, or like again, do what you want to.
Or a plan, yeah.
Yeah, you get to plan yourself out, but so long as you like the plan to begin with, because don't put a video because marketing says that I should play like a first-person shooter because why not? Halo's popular these days. Like, don't do that. But
I play the games that I like to play, and I upload them. I guess it's become an addiction to me now, where I only play games when I stream. The reason why I stream all the time is because I don't have a Hapage, and I can't do it the way you can. I use it, and I mentioned this many times before. I'm using Twitch as a tool to make LPs. Right. You see, it's my only choice. I have no choice, so that's why. And then I'm at the point where I don't feel right playing a game without streaming. They go hand in hand for me now, and it's become an addiction. If I'm going to play a game, I got to stream it. I have games here that I got on my 360, but because I can't stream them, I'm not playing them, and I wish I could. I would love to do an LP of Skyrim, of Oblivion, more when I can kind of do it through this Hangout. See this? I use this Hangout as a means of making further LPs because there's an option here called Share Screen, so you can see what's on my screen. So I can play a game, and then I use it as a tool. So I'm using these tools that the internet provides, like Twitch and Google Hangout, as a means to make LPs until I can get a Hapage, and probably even that. Apparently, I guess I'm going to have a better computer and bigger hard drive space.
That's always an issue.
It's an issue, and that's why I'm playing right now. This one here, Assassin's Creed. Well, this one I'm going to be watching this in a little bit. I don't know if you can see. It's my. I look frozen here, but that was The Exorcist.
You're moving. I'm moving. You're jittering.
I'm jittery, and that's I'm LPing this one right now. But I LP'd a game called Wasteland, like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. You know Wasteland, right? Or Wasteland 2, the second one. I did an LP of that, and I name it, and about how you name the characters to make it more personal, I named them fellow YouTubers that I know. So if you want to watch it, it doesn't have a lot of episodes. It was a first impressions one, and there's only like 4 or 5 episodes, I think. And,
What, they all died?
You know, I named them with people I know here on YouTube to make it more personal that way.
Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to go. I said I was going to go at 11, and it's already 20 to 12.
Yeah. All right.
No, but it's great, man. Gix, is it Gix or Gix?
It's pronounced Gix, but
Gix is like the play on, J-I-I. No, but it's great what you were saying real quick, because yeah, the only time I really watch gameplay, recently I've been going on the Twitch and watching some of the live stuff when I work Fridays overnights, because it's boring when at work, so I just sit there. But I watched a lot of YouTube stuff, and like you were saying, being entertaining in the little box in the corner, games that are scary, those are interesting to watch because you're seeing the player then jump from being scared. But if it's just a simple game, or it's like, why do we need to see this play there? And there is, I don't want to say anything bad about any gamers out there, but there is one guy I see on YouTube that I watch his videos quite frequently. But he gets donations during his gameplay, and he's got all these little things popping up on the screen whenever he gets one, and audio, and it's hard. It's almost like a full show as opposed to concentrating just on the game itself. The game. Yep. And it's kind of irritating. It's like, turn that off. I want to watch you play the game. But that's his own thing, and like I said, that's cool. And but I think it's great. I wish I was doing it more. I just don't have the time to get on to do streaming on Twitch or any of that stuff, but I'm happy with my little PC game, and I'm in the world of GTA, so for at least the next year or so, I'll be happy.
Yeah, it's good.
Alien Isolation's the next one on my list, so.
Here you go, Alien Isolation. I gotta get that.
You should have your face cam on that.
No, to do that, yeah. Yeah, I hear it's pretty intense.
Even though I heard Alien Isolation got somewhat bad reviews, like 6.5, maybe a 7. Even though I don't consider 7 bad score or anything like that.
From what I've seen of it, from what I've seen, it looks really good. And a couple things I've read, they say the ending's pretty satisfying, as a story-wise.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Like a survival horror, yeah.
Do we all blow up in a spaceship at the end? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, guys, I'm Sammy. It's been great. I don't know if you're going to close this, but I'm dropping off.
All right.
Yeah, no, I'll just have to hit the stop broadcast.
What's that?
It's been a pleasure talking to you. I don't know if we'll have another opportunity to do that. Probably.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're going to become one of Sammy's guys now, yeah, I'm usually jump on. I'm not there all the time, but I jump on when I can. So maybe we'll talk again. Hopefully we'll talk again. It's been nice. It's been cool. I've learned some stuff.
Very cool. Very cool. We're all equals here. Just keep that in mind. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I just tend to have a philosophical aspect of it, so I tend to ramble a lot about feelings and stuff. Anyways.
You're on Twitch, right?
I've never been shy about my. You know this too, don't you, Raj? I have no qualms of back my feelings. I talk about things and
not at
personal things maybe I should not expose, but I'm trying to limit that and trying not to get too much of my public life out there. I'm controlling that now,
Yeah. Well, sometimes it could be really sometimes it could be really funny to watch or hear. It's not all the time good,
Yeah.
Gix,
especially if you're receiving it.
Yeah. Gix, are you on Twitch when you play?
Not always, although I have gotten to the point where I try to do both, where on Saturdays I will stream live my recording session.
Okay.
So what happens is that I have a prep time where people can interact with me and I talk and stuff, and then I hit record, I hide chat, so I can't interact with them, but they can see me live playing the game, and basically that video gets edited a little bit because it's not a direct stream poll to YouTube, but I upload the videos back on YouTube. I tend to do that now.
And
But
it's
yeah, I
under
have
the
it.
It's under the same name, Gix G17?
It's the exact label, yeah.
Okay, all right. Maybe I'll see you out there. All right.
See you, Raj.
All right, Sammy, I'm dropping off.
Channel Donstar.
Okay, man. So. Thank you, as always, for stopping by. And
my pleasure. My pleasure. Especially since
you guys met.
Dropped off. You need someone. Well, you got the two. Anyway, nice talking, everybody.
It's been a pleasure. See you.
Yeah, same here. Bye-bye.
And real quick, so your Twitch is Gix217? Is the same?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, so before I hit the stop broadcast, I just want to shout out just a few more names to give them recognition. Leroy Green, 85, Blu-ray Hoarder, Blu-ray Evan, Allie Walker, Trey Passer, Lola's Basement, I said Spy the Movie Guy already, Horror, Super Chick 360, Rob the Movie Collector, who else am I? I know I'm missing a ton. Yeah, I think that's gonna James Hayes and Necrolord 666 Armand Trax. That should do it.
Some of these names are really creative.
Yeah, yes they are. Yes, indeed. There's way more. If I missed you guys, I apologize. But you know what? This is not going to be the last. I'm sure. Gix is going to be on again. This is like his first, and apparently his first ever for being on a Google Hangout. So I'm very honored for that, and very honored to have had Gix on here in a Hangout. Someone whom I'd admired since I first seen him. I don't know why I was thinking 2007. I guess it was 2009, huh?
Well, you might have. I don't know when you started, but maybe you had watched my channel since then. I don't know.
Okay.
I know. But yeah, like it's very, very flattering of hearing you.
Thanks, brother.
So got to thank you for that. I'm still not sure exactly how to react to that sometimes when people talk to me like that. So it's kind of weird, but yeah, I'm very flattered.
Thank you for the inspiration. I mean, yeah.
And yeah, I think some other time, like I don't know, because these days you're like, this is like you're on vacation, you got some time off and something like that. So.
Oh, me right here? No, I have my Tuesday, Wednesday off.
Always?
As far as I know, so far it is, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesdays is my Saturday, Sunday, basically.
Oh.
It's weird, isn't it?
I get it. Yeah. Well, some people.
Yeah.
They live sideways.
Yeah, I'm used to office, though, so I'm still, that's still what I'm still looking for, of course. But right now, I won't say where, but it's kind of like I won't even say my position, but I'll keep that a secret. I got to remember I said
but totally fine.
Yeah, but I'm looking for, what I typically do where it's, Monday through Friday, 7 to 3, 8 to 4 type of thing.
Okay. I was going to say today was kind of an exception for me because Tuesdays are my game development days.
Game development? Is this a work thing or you're talking about for your...
So my project.
Oh, okay.
So Wednesdays, if those are your Sundays, those will be more appropriate times for me to do more of these kind of things. So, I mean, today, I wanted to talk to you anyways. Like, I thought it was kind of interesting, and yeah, this is actually pretty neat. Or if it happens, I might be distracted doing like some other stuff while we chat. I wouldn't mind doing that. But yeah, normally like on my Tuesdays or my game dev days. So
what about Monday nights, like Mondays around this time that we've been doing it?
That's fine.
Monday? That works out perfect for me too because I don't have to work the next day, which is Tuesday.
Oh, okay. So it's your Friday. Mondays is your Friday. Wow, that is backwards.
Mondays is my Friday. Yeah, it is backwards indeed.
So yeah, see, Tuesdays and Thursdays essentially are my big. These are my type of days where I need to spend time developing. So,
gotcha.
Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays are the windows.
Okay.
So Monday's fine.
Cool. Perfect. And if there's anything random that can happen, if you can contact me and Tuesday, all of a sudden, hey, you want to get on a hangout, I'll do it. I'll just hop on. Or you want to start one, I'll jump in yours.
Okay.
Because I jump in other people's hangouts too. I don't always just start one. And another thing too, maybe you want to share it later. You don't have to share it on air, but is that your do you have a Facebook? Because I think I found something, but it was written in a perspective like it's coming from a fan.
Yeah, that.
Gix G17.
I have a personal Facebook, but I do not have a YouTube Facebook.
Okay. Well, this is like a regular Facebook that we have the here. I don't know if there's a thing called Messenger, and
yeah, but it uses essentially to separate my private life with my YouTube life and my professional life. I would have to create another account. I do not have a YouTube like a YouTube specific Facebook account, if you want to call it that.
Gotcha.
The one that you could find, or the one that you found, was exactly like what it is. It's a fan made. I think at one point he contacted me. He's like, "Hey, if you want to own it, like by all means, you can have it." But like, I just created that for you. I was like, all right.
Oh, jeez. I think I'll.
So yeah, there's a lot of people. You got to be really careful with that. Like I have to deal sometimes with security issues or not confidentiality, but people like to. Not often, but it happens where they try to impersonate me, either out of like appreciation or some sadistic deal. I don't know.
Sadistic deal.
But just because there's a Gix or it's a Gix G17, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's me. Even though it has my face on it, you got to be careful with that. Basically, trying to know my mannerism. And if you ask me, hey, are you that guy? Depending on my reply, you should be able to pick up on whenever or not it's me.
Wait a minute. Are you talking about people who are trying to imitate you like on chats?
Well, sometimes.
Really? Okay. Oh, geez.
Right. I had some issues where I back in a few years ago, I had people talking to me saying, what did you mean by that? And I'm like, what conversation were you talking about? Because apparently I was really offensive or some such, and apparently there was one particular event where they had replicated my YouTube channel, and instead of a 1 for the G17, it was GI7.
So it looks the same.
Like so it kind of looked the same, and because they replicated, people thought it was me. And he was really quick of updating the page too. So whenever I would upload a video, he would like relink that video on his channel so to make it look like it was me. So got to be careful on that. But yeah, even in games, like sometimes, like if you think it's me, just shout out and say, "Hey, is it you?" Don't say that because the guy might say what, but like, hey, are you the guy who puts the videos on YouTube? And if he replies, I'm normally very, very strategic on how I reply to those messages, so that at least people can have the some sort of security in knowing that it's the real me.
I got
you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, like I said, I will unfollow that one since it's not really you. It's from like a.
Well, you can follow him if you want, but it's just know that it's not me.
I got you.
Some people like say, "Hey, do you still own Skype? I hear that you're It says it mentions like deleted account or disabled account." I'm like, no, I haven't. Nobody's on my like. I'm still using Skype all the time, so. That guy is like totally not me. So there's a lot of, if you type in Gix, you'll find like a ton. Even though like the G17 lookalikes sometimes, like, so you got to be really careful with that.
Okay. And mine, if you swing by my channel and you look at my logo, I want to give props again. It was Gary from Bulgaria.
Oh, okay.
She's the one who created that icon for me. Before that, it was an image of Mia Farrow from the movie The Haunting of Julia, which I absolutely really dig that movie for some reason, but not that it's the greatest movie, but I just dig it. but yeah, so I think it's more befitting because Falagar is a mage name. I think I got it from like Might and Magic or something. And like I said, I was fascinated by mages, so it's befitting that it's that. Even though my brother asked, "Why is it a sword and shield if you're a mage?" I said, "Well, it's just representing RPGs. You know, it's it's a sword and shield, but it's okay. It's I like it. I like it a lot."
Well, the sword and shield is everything that he's not.
There you go. Everything. It's a bound sword and a bound shield. So there we go.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Okay, I guess I'm going to close this off, and then we can just...
I was just about to like call it because it's 1 a.m. here, and
Yeah,
I got a busy schedule tomorrow.
All right, I'm going to end this off, but we can still talk for one minute, like before we leave. But okay, so once again, thank you guys for joining us, really. And if you guys don't know already, which you probably already do, he's a famous guy. Head on over to Gix's channel, which is Gix17. Show him much love. Show him much support. He does a lot of Let's Play videos.
Well, yeah, 3.
And,
I do 3 videos, or 3 series.
What I mean by that is you have a lot.
Oh, okay.
He has a lot of Let's Play of 3 games, but a lot of episodes out. Let me put it to you that way.
Fair enough.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, and Gix, you want to say some final words, or?
It's been a pleasure. This is my first time doing a hangout, and it was like something. Like you messaged me on like a very obscure like interface where like I couldn't find my messages, and at one point like, oh, Falagar has messaged me. What is he talking about? He wants to do a hangout. So like, all right, sure, I'll do that. It was kind of like semi-short notice. So like I knew that you wanted to do it like in a foreseeable future. So I mean, I've been enjoying it. The conversation. This is the first time I've been in like in a conversation format of a stream or a video. So that was really interesting, and I would love to do more. I kind of would have wished that I had more interaction with the chat. I know like I was mostly focusing on the footage like you guys. So hopefully if there's going to be a next time, then I'll reply to because I was basically talking on my own end here, and sometimes people would comment, and I kind of feel bad for that. So thank you guys for watching. And yeah, build us some questions and stuff like that. And maybe next time we'll address some of the gaming goods and bads, if not like curiosities.
Sure. Well, maybe focus a little bit more on the Fallout 4 since that's the one that is coming out.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay, guys, I'm going to close this off. And okay, there we go.